Hey guys, it's Spencer from Buildapreneur, and this is going to be an email marketing tutorial, okay? And more importantly, we're going to show you how you can actually make money with email marketing. If you're looking to really up your email marketing game, I promise you want to subscribe to this channel because the next 8 to 10 videos are going to be all about email marketing. We're going to look at all kinds of really cool ways to increase profits, increase open rates, do all kinds of cool things with email marketing. So let's dive in. And before we get started, I want us to understand why email marketing is so important, okay? Why it's not just an optional channel of marketing for your business. It is absolutely mandatory. So if you run an online business, say not a brick and mortar business, an online business, hopefully you've come to realize that your business is your audience. Like your audience is pretty much your entire business online. You might have products and courses and even some physical products and things like that. But what really matters and what really is making your business is the people, the customers, those people that are giving you money, okay? And your ability to access those people, okay? And the way we access our customers is Facebook ads, YouTube, Google, Instagram, all these places that we use to access our customers. And the problem with all these places is we don't have ownership over them, right? So for example, my YouTube channel, I put out videos and people that are watching are my subscribers, and I'm getting lots of views and things like that, but I don't actually own that audience, okay? YouTube is the one that controls that audience. They decide how many people watch my video, right? They could decide to completely eliminate my channel, which happens all the time. They could also decide that they're gonna change their algorithm, and my channel, which currently gets 100,000 views or something like that every month, could suddenly drop to 500 views a month or none a month based on the updates, right? Like you never know what's gonna happen because you aren't in charge of that audience. You don't control that platform. And email marketing is different because it is the platform you control, okay? When you get someone's email address and they give it to you, you now own that email address in that you are now allowed, as long as they don't unsubscribe or opt out, you are now allowed to email and market to that person for the long foreseeable future. And so that's so different from YouTube, right? Because YouTube can shut you down. When you own someone's email, the software you use to send emails might shut you down, but you still have access to that email. You can move to another software. Your email list is something that you own. It's an asset to your business, and one of the few assets an online business can actually have. Okay, so that's the first reason. And the second reason is email marketing. You can literally print money with email marketing. You can print money, and you can print it like instantaneously. So if your business is on the verge of crumbling, you need money in the next 3 days, or even your personal life, if something's going on and you need money fast, you can build an offer, send it to your email list, and you can have money flowing in within minutes. And it's amazing when you actually see how it all works, and it makes it so worth it to have started building up an email list, because you can literally type up an email, send it, and make thousands of dollars within a few minutes. So that's the two reasons that every business should be running some kind of campaign to gather and collect email addresses and build an email list. So now we're going to dive in and look at how we do this, like how this process works of building up this email list and how we email them and things like that. All right, so it all starts with what's called a lead magnet. There's a couple words for it, but basically most people understand what a lead magnet is. And what a lead magnet is it's something that we give away in exchange for an email address. Okay, so typically customers don't just give you their email address. You're like, oh yeah, sure, just have my email and start marketing to me. The way it works is it's an exchange. Your customer or your potential customer gives you an email address, and in exchange you give them something back. Okay, so we've all been to websites or blogs or been to ads where they tell us to put in an email and they'll send us something, right? They can send us a PDF, they can send us a free ebook, they can send us a free training, they can send us some templates or a case study, right? We've all seen these things show up and people are offering them for free, and then they get our email address in exchange for it. And that's what a lead magnet is, okay? It's something that we can offer, something that we can give away in exchange for an email address. And we shake on it and make the deal, and now we have an email address and we're allowed to market to that email address. For example, if you go to my blog right here, right? This is my personal blog. I've got a blog post about how to build an email list. Now on that blog post, boom! Oh, that was such good timing. On that blog post, I've got a pop-up that says, hey, do you want to learn to double your profits with email automation? And a lot of stuff we're talking about in this video, actually, for that. And they put in their email address and they go to the course, right? So this is me offering up my lead magnet on my blog in exchange for their email address. Now you can do the same thing with YouTube. You can have a link in the description. For example, if you want that course that was just shown there, you can go click the link in my description. I'll give you the free course, and you'll probably receive some emails from me in the future. So this works across all platforms, right? Whether it's Facebook or Instagram or whatever it is that you're using, you create a link, you send it to what's called a landing page, which is any kind of page that we've set up to capture that email address. You can see right there. That's where I capture email addresses for this course. And now that email address goes somewhere, and we're going to talk more about where it goes. But now we have access and the ability and the legal right to email that email address. So we're going to talk about where this goes, right? So someone put in that email address. Now what happens, right? You have the email address. What do you do with it? What happens is it goes into these landing page builders, and they're connected to what's called an autoresponder. Okay, and an autoresponder is a software that just manages your email addresses for you. There's a lot of things you want to do. For example, when you send out an email, you might want to see reports on how many people opened the email or how many people clicked the link in the email. Or you might want to break down all of your email addresses into different groups, people that are interested in different things. In fact, you definitely want to do that. Or you might want to send automated emails where you want to schedule out an email and say, hey, send it out in 3 days or something like that. Like all these things are done in a software called an autoresponder. So what happens is people put in their email address right here, and that email address goes into an autoresponder. Now, my recommended autoresponder it's called ActiveCampaign. There's a link down below to it. It's an affiliate link. Having used many autoresponders, I can promise you ActiveCampaign is one of the best there is, if not the best there is. So the email address goes into the autoresponder, and I'm trying to find it on the screen here, sorry. And this is kind of what your dashboard and your autoresponder looks like. And what happens is your autoresponder takes it, and based on what you tell the autoresponder to do, and I teach this in my course, it goes into lists, okay? So the autoresponder segments itself down into lists, and let's click and see here. So the email goes into the autoresponder, and the autoresponder puts it in a list based on what you've told the autoresponder to do. I've said, hey, if someone signs up through this email marketing secrets, I want them to go in the free email marketing course list, because now I know that those people are interested in email marketing, and in the future we can do very specific emails just to those people to sell things that just they might be interested in. Now, the reason lists are so important is because you want to make sure that the emails you're sending out to people are genuinely things that they're interested in, right? Like actually apply to them. So if we went out to a big company, for example, like Amazon or Walmart or something like that, they sell all kinds of things, right? So if Amazon offered a 10% discount code on strollers one day, like brand new baby strollers, and they got 5,000 people that all put in their email address in exchange for that coupon code, well, now they've got a list of 5,000 people who they know are interested in baby stuff. But the same day, Amazon might send out a discount or announce the launch of their new fishing pole, right, for fishermen. And they give a 10% coupon code for that too. So if people come in from two different places, right, you don't want them all to go on one big list. And then when you go to send out a marketing email, you're like, well, am I talking to fishermen or am I talking to mothers, right? And they're very, very different in both the products you'll want to promote to them and how you'll promote the product to them. And so that's the reason we do lists. We want to make lists and break them down based on what we know about people. So at this point, I know that, when someone goes to this course on the screen here, I know that they're interested in email marketing. So I put them in a list that says, hey, it's somebody interested in email marketing. If you do anything email marketing related in the future, you should definitely be emailing those people. Now let's talk about the really important stuff, like the actual emailing. So how do we go about the actual emailing, right? We've got these lists. Hopefully in the beginning, you don't overcomplicate it and you just have one, maybe two lists of email addresses that you've managed to capture with your lead magnet. So what we're going to do is there's two different ways that you can email them. And different autoresponders have different words for it, but basically there's what's called a one-time campaign or a broadcast, and there's an automation or an automated way of doing this. And what an automated way of doing it is, here we'll look at one of my automations here, is where when someone puts in their email address and they put it in on that lead magnet, we actually email them, we email them instantly with what they've been promised, and then we start emailing them once a day or once a week or once every other day automatically, right? So they'll put in their email address, they'll get their free thing, and then 2 days later they'll get another email and it'll say, hey, you're interested in email marketing, you should check out this software called ActiveCampaign, right? And I might have an affiliate link for ActiveCampaign in that software. And you can kind of see how you start to make money this way because you send them through the sequence, and you could build it once and send every email address through it at their own pace, kind of personalized based on when they went through, when they put in their email address in your autoresponder. So automations are awesome. But then sometimes you obviously want to do a little more. You want to send an email out today, right? You've got something urgent today. You're doing a big product launch today or something like that. So you can also do what's called a campaign or a broadcast email, and that's where you sit down, you type up an email, and you send it, right? You send it out today and say, hey, we're doing a big thing just for today. Here's how to get access to it or something like that. Okay, and so those are the two ways that we do our emails. Personally, I prefer automation. I love the personalization of it, right? I love that someone can put in their email address, and then I can slowly kind of start helping them understand who I am before I do any kind of sales. emails at all, I can send them 5, 6, 7 emails that kind of train them and help them and build a little bit of rapport with them before I start selling to them. And you can do that through these automations. All right, guys, I'm going to do a quick shameless plug. If you've learned something, one thing, give me a like, give me a subscribe. We'll keep moving on here. We're going to talk briefly about what kinds of emails we're sending. Okay, what are we sending to these people? I basically break it down into 2 different types of emails. They're either sales emails or they're value emails. Okay, and when I say value emails, I'm talking about emails that aren't selling something, but they're kind of helping prepare the person for the sale. For example, it's really important that someone trusts you before they buy something from you, right? Like typically you're not going to buy something from someone if you don't feel like you trust them to actually deliver a good quality product. And so you might send an email that's just geared around building trust. Okay, and that might be telling them a story about yourself. That might be showing them one of your products or something like that. There's a lot of ways that you can send an email that builds trust, but doesn't actually sell anything. But it's preparing them, right? It's getting them prepared to know who you are, so when you sell something, they trust you and buy from you. You could also do emails that are built around just teaching them and building a relationship with them, okay, to where they're like, oh, I know who that guy is, and yeah, I totally recognize that name, and they almost feel like they know you, right? Because people buy when they feel like they have a relationship from you. And that's the same thing. You might be telling stories. You might be teaching them things. You might be sending out a video that just so they can like see who you are. And people buy a lot more when they have seen somebody and can see that they're not like some hidden face on the internet. Let's dive quickly into the actual anatomy of an email, okay? So what does an actual email look like? An email has a subject line, and an email has like the content, and then a typical email has a call to action, okay? Subject line, content, call to action. Now, you've got to understand that each of these is a little piece of a potential buyer or customer's journey, okay? And so when you write an email, you write a subject line, and the whole point of the subject line is not to sell them, not to like tell them everything, right? It's just to get them to open that email, okay? Then the whole point of the first few lines of the email is to get them to mentally commit to read that email, okay? And then you've got this email, and that's meant to prepare them so that when you have a button down below or a link down below to send them to a sales page, they're ready for what that sales page is going to sell them, right? So it's all a journey. You're trying to get them to open the email. That's your subject line. You're trying to get them to commit to read the email. That's the first few lines. You're trying to get them to click a link in the email, and that's writing this email that is good and quality and brings out some emotion and things like that. And they click that, and then they go over to a landing page. And if all is done well, right, they show up at that landing page. As many people as possible show up at that landing page, and they're prepared for what that landing page is going to sell them, and they're excited for it, and they're pre-framed and mentally ready to buy what's on that landing page. Now remember, if you actually want to see this done, like just see me do this over a period of an hour or two and build out entire email campaigns and connect everything and the technical side of all this, there is that link down below to a totally free course. It does all of that. The video that's coming up next, we're going to talk a little bit about open rates, okay? So none of this matters if you can't show up in your customer's email, right? If you can't show up in their inbox, you're showing up in spam or promotions or something like that, none of this will matter. None of your email work will matter if you can't do that. So the next video, we're going to focus on exactly how you can get people to see your email and open your email.